person never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun.
I'm advocating for Tory Lanez because the evidence shows that he's innocent, and he deserves to be pardoned by Governor Gavin Newsom. You know, he's 100% exonerated from the gun. And for that alone, he should be home with his family.
Y'all, Tory Lanez presidential pardon? Yes, that is the buzz right now. In a case that's been nothing but controversy from the jump, whispers of a political twist are starting to get real loud. Suddenly, powerful names are stepping forward, strange alliances are forming, and things are moving in ways nobody saw coming. And the reason is to bring Tory home. It's not just about what happened that night anymore, it's about who's trying to rewrite the ending. Now, from courtroom headlines to closed-door conversations, something big is shifting, and if the rumors are true, this might not just shake up Tory's case, it could flip the whole narrative. So since Tory Lanez got convicted, there's been a steady wave of support coming in, not just from fans, but from some pretty big names in entertainment and even politics, with people like Amber Rose, Drake, and Chris Brown having all spoken up in one way or another, saying they believe Tory was treated unfairly and shouldn't be in prison. Now, Amber Rose, for example, she's been real vocal about this. She said multiple times that she thinks Tory is innocent, and in one recent interview, she made it clear that she's backing him because, in her words, the evidence shows he didn't do what he was accused of. She also says she believes Governor Gavin Newsom should pardon him, and according to her, he was cleared when it came to the gun charge, and just based on that, he should be back home with his family.
I'm advocating for Tory Lanez because the evidence shows that he's innocent, and he deserves to be pardoned by Governor Gavin Newsom. You know, he's 100% exonerated from the gun. And for that alone, he should be home with his family.
But coming from Amber Rose, who's known for always speaking her mind to the celebrity legal stuff, her opinion has carried a little bit of weight in this whole conversation. She even mentioned that Tory called her from prison and opened up about what happened. She said he shared his side of the story in detail. And one thing that stood out to her was the text message that's been widely talked about online. A lot of people have assumed that the text was him admitting guilt, but according to Amber, that's not the case. She said the message had nothing to do with the shooting. It was about personal issues totally unrelated to the incident. From her perspective, the change is how people should be reading the situation.
Well, I heard the whole story from Tory's mouth. He called me personally from prison, and I now understand why he said sorry, and it's not for any shooting at all. So I'll let him tell that story when he comes home. But the sorry was not for what people think it was for.
And then there's Dre. He hasn't said that much publicly, but he did share a petition on his Instagram story asking Governor Newsom to pardon Tory. Along with the petition, he added a short message that said, "Come home soon." It was a simple post, but considering how careful Drake usually is about what he puts out there, that moment definitely stood out. It got a lot of people talking, especially since he's one of the biggest artists out here. His support seemed to give Tory's fans more energy and brought even more attention to the case. Other celebrities haven't said a lot publicly or directly, but they've had small moves that people have noticed. Some are still following Tory on social media, while others have quietly distanced themselves from Meg Thee Stallion. For example, Kim Kardashian has been playing Tory's music. A$AP Rocky still follows Tory but doesn't follow Megan, and Justin Bieber recently unfollowed Meg but continues to follow Tory. And fans have also not been left behind. They are calling for the release of Tory. One commented, "Release Tory Lanez, he is innocent." And these might be seeming like minor things, but in the world of celebrities, stuff like that does not go unnoticed. It's led to a lot of speculation about where people really stand and what kind of conversations might be happening behind the scenes. So here's where things get wild though. The Lanez situation isn't just some celebrity drama anymore. It's caught fire in politics, y'all, and legal battles that feel straight out of a thriller. Imagine this, a conservative congresswoman, Anna Paula Luna, stepping up and calling out California Governor Gavin Newsom, demanding Tory's freedom. Yeah, you heard me. She's saying Tory's 10-year sentence was all messed up, full of shaky evidence, political pressure, and bias. She's basically calling for a full do-over. And she didn't stop there. She promised some explosive new proof would drop in the next 36 hours, something that could turn the whole case upside down. But of course, Megan's camp isn't having none of it. Her lawyer fired back, saying Tory was rightly convicted after a fair trial, and Megan herself went off on social media flat out saying, "He shot me, facts don't lie." She called out anybody trying to say otherwise as a part of some internet hate campaign, y'all. So you see, the lines are drawn, the drama's real, and everybody's watching to see which way the scales of justice will tip next. But things got even darker when Tory was attacked in prison. Not just a little scuffle, y'all, he was stabbed 14 times. He ended up with a collapsed lung and had to be put on a breathing machine. Very scary stuff.
Tory Lanez was stabbed 14 times by another inmate at a California prison. He suffered 2 collapsed lungs, but we are told he is now breathing on his own.
The word in the streets is that it wasn't random, that the attack happened just before new evidence that could clear Tory's name was about to be dropped. There were even whispers that Megan and her powerful label Roc Nation might have had a hand in it, trying to keep Tory locked up and quiet. It's like a chess game behind the scenes, and whoever's pulling the strings doesn't want Tory to get out. No matter what, the pressure's real, and this has to have a lot of people calling out for his pardon. But here's the crazy part. Tory's legal team dropped a bombshell with some new evidence that could flip the whole case. Turns out Kelsey Harris, the woman connected to the shooting, Meg's ex-best friend, might be the real shooter, not Tory. Get this, Harris is the same woman who pleaded the fifth when they asked if she saw Tory shoot Megan. And what does that tell you? Tory also dropped an audio clip from the night of the shooting, and get this, he alleges that you can clearly hear one of the defense's own witnesses telling the cops that the shots came from a woman. According to the witness, there was an alleged wild cat fight going down, lots of kicking, scratching, full-on chaos. While the driver jumped out to break up Megan and Kelsey, Tory apparently stayed put in the back seat, not getting involved at all.
So the girl comes out of the rear passenger and she goes to the front passenger?
Yes.
And she opens up the car door?
Yes.
And then what happens?
They're screaming and shouting at each other and they start fighting.
The 2 girls?
Yeah, I can see one feet coming out trying to kick her and the other one's fighting, and then the passenger gets out.
But if this really happened, then yeah, it kind of sounds like Tory might actually be innocent and deserves the president's pardon. Tory also spoke from prison and claimed that the prosecutor straight up lied about his DNA evidence. He says it wasn't inconclusive like they told the court. His DNA was actually completely excluded from the gun.
I am 100% excluded, not inconclusive like they said when I was in trial. I'm 100% excluded from this gun when it comes to DNA.
If that's true, it makes you question how they even found them guilty in the first place, because it seems like there's a lot that just doesn't add up. But get this, it wasn't just him. A group called Unite the People, which fights for social justice, had a press event unveiling a bombshell. Walter Roberts, their main lawyer, dropped a claim that could rewrite the story. Apparently, Kelsey Harris's own bodyguard, Bradley James, overheard her admit that she was the one who pulled the trigger. According to him, Tory didn't fire a single shot. Instead, he was trying to keep things from going down. Imagine that. According to James, Tory wasn't even holding a gun when it went off. He supposedly tried to stop her from shooting, and the gun fired a few times while they struggled over it. And this completely contradicts everything that's been said in court. But this new claim actually lines up with what some witnesses said about the chaos that night. Apparently there was a fight between 2 women, and Tory just happened to be caught in the middle of it. And it's not just witnesses backing him. Tory's own dad convinced his son was being framed. He showed up outside the courthouse and gave a fiery speech to reporters, putting the blame on Meg Thee Stallion and her team, especially Roc Nation and its founder Jay-Z. I just witnessed the biggest injustice right here in Los Angeles. Sunstar Lane, Tory's father, said with passion, "You want to know how I feel? I'll tell you exactly how I feel." And he didn't hold back, calling out names like Megan's lawyer Alex Spiro, Roc Nation COO Desiree Perez, and of course Jay-Z himself, blaming them and what he called a corrupt system for what happened to his son Tory. A rumor has it that all this evidence held up and Tory has been sitting behind bars for something he didn't even do. And here comes the presidential pardon. Word in the streets is that Megan and Jay-Z are not exactly thrilled about Tory's push for freedom and the presidential pardon. Our insiders believe they're doing everything possible behind the scenes to keep him locked up. Why? Well, because Megan is signed to Jay-Z's Roc Nation, and there are whispers that Jay-Z's team might have a lot riding on Tory staying behind bars. Some say that when Tory declined to sign with Roc Nation, it stirred up some serious tension, and Jay-Z allegedly didn't like Tory being independent and is rumored to have played a role in making sure Tory got tangled up in legal drama. Rumors have it that on social media people are calling out Jay-Z, accusing him of not being for the culture and of using his power to control who rises and falls. And some are alleging, even going as far as suggesting that Roc Nation's support of Megan's legal battle is a way to keep Tory's name dragged through the mud. Now that this presidential pardon talks are heating up though. Sources say Meg and Jay-Z are running, scrambling to protect their interests. It's like they didn't expect Tory's case to gain this much momentum or public support, and they're trying to block any new evidence from seeing the light of day and stop these pardons from even happening. Y'all, it's a power play and everybody's watching to see who wins. If Tory actually gets his presidential pardon and gets out, it could flip the whole situation upside down. Think about it. A pardon doesn't just free him, it's a statement saying the system got it wrong. That's a huge thing for Tory's reputation, his career, and for everybody who's been shouting his innocence all along. But it also threatens a lot of powerful interests who have invested in the current narrative. For Megan, Jay-Z, and Roc Nation, this pardon could allegedly unravel everything that they've been building around the whole story. It could cast doubt on Megan's version of events, and that would be a major blow to her career and brand. But on the flip side, Tory's supporters see this as a chance to finally get justice, to right what they believe was a wrong conviction based on shaky evidence and political pressure. The new evidence, the affidavits, and witness accounts could all come crashing down if the pardon moves forward, and that's why the fight isn't just in court or on social media, it's a battle for control over the narrative itself. Everybody's jockeying for a position, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Well, this presidential pardon has definitely led to a moment where the justice system is forced to admit if it got it wrong, or double down on a conviction that's already cracking under pressure. And let's be real a second for a millisecond. A pardon at this level isn't just a legal move, it's a message. One that could redeem Tory, unravel Megan's version of events, and put that serious heat on power players like Roc Nation and Jay-Z. And that's why the pushback is getting louder and dirtier and more desperate by the day. But what happens now? Does the White House get involved? Will President Trump be saying, "I pardon Tory Lanez because he's innocent"? Does the White House get involved? Will the new evidence finally tip the scales, or is this just another chapter in a case full of twists no one saw coming? Drop your thoughts and comments below, because this story is far from over, and if you're ready for the next bombshell, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications.